how will you ensure that staff members are accountable for their job duties and that they earn their salaries?
As I said at the opening question, we have 52 positions. Currently 50 are filled. People making over $100,000 a year, which is a very good salary. I don't make $100,000 a year, so it's a very good salary. And we have 18 people that are making over $200,000. Okay? If you're making that much money, you should be competent. Okay? And I believe that, and then we have some great employees here. I believe that if we give them the rope is a poor choice of words, but if we give them the leash to go out and do some of the things that we're paying them to do, we'd save all kinds of money on consultants. Because if you're paying someone over $100,000 a year, they should be earning it. So I definitely think that we should allow our employees, our good employees, to get out there and do their job.
Okay. Do you feel staff performance reviews and bonuses should be well documented and included in their city personnel folder?
Well, of course. You know, Keith, you know I'm a military reservist, and every year we have evaluations, and part of my job as a chief petty officer is to write the evaluations for those that are E6 and below. And we do quarterly, every 6 months we do an initial evaluation, and then we do a final eval on every one of our personnel, and we have that in their records. The fact that our city manager does not have an evaluation that the city personnel director can go out and pull, I just that's one thing I would audit, because that just doesn't make sense to me. So yes, every person in the city should have an evaluation annually. How else can you judge their performance and track their performance? So I think it's important. I think it's an important tool to help them improve as well.
Do you feel that justification for bonuses and increases should be available for citizen review?
Well, of course, anything should be made public. It's that's a no-brainer. Absolutely. There's nothing secret about the performance of a person earning nearly $300,000 a year. I mean, it's your money as citizens. You should know about it. So, and if there's issues that need to be addressed, well, maybe it's time to move on with that city manager, because there shouldn't be any negatives, as far as that the public can't see. If there's issues that the public or personal that the public can't see, I would question why you still have that guy on the payroll.
Okay, pretty much in line with that same questioning. What is your position on management raises disguised as reorganization?
Okay, so reorganization, and a matter of fact, allegedly that's going to save money, but I also heard that we haven't since 2007. I'm sorry, a pay freeze since 2007. So we really haven't had. Just as you said, if you reorganize and give somebody some more responsibilities, but then give them a big pay raise, it sounds to me that we don't have a pay freeze. So yeah, I don't think that was the correct move. I think the people that are earning, because all those managers are earning a significant amount of money. Okay, and I think that giving them more responsibility or reorganizing was in line with what they're already getting. So.
What is your position on hiring back high pensioned executives at additional high cost to the taxpayers vis-a-vis assigning projects to current high-paid staff?
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. Are you talking about retired people that are coming back?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So yes, a good example of that is person that I have great admiration for is Mike Messina. Matter of fact, I know his father, and I think he's a great chief of police. He was actually hired back as a kind of a community coordinator and led some efforts. Well, he was at the time the highest paid person in the city of Brea, and he was retired, and we're bringing him back at $150,000 okay, to do these community groups, essentially the work the city manager should have been doing. Okay. At the time, we had Terry Mass. We already had an assistant city manager. So essentially, we had at one point here in 2008, we had 3 city managers, okay, and we were paying a significant amount of money. So yes, I believe that bringing back these high salary retired personnel to do the job of personnel that should be fully capable to do within our city government is not the right move, and is a poor use of our resources.
Residents that speak during matters from the audience excuse me, often feel ignored and are insulted by the city manager. If elected, what action would you take to remedy this situation?
Okay, so in our opening, Glenn, I believe you said you talked about treating people with respect, okay, dignity and respect. That's a core value that we all should be exposed to and share. Okay, I as a councilman should treat you with dignity and respect, just as you as a speaker should treat the council with dignity and respect as your representatives. So I definitely feel that the Brown Act, the purpose of the Brown Act, is being used to the negative, to essentially keep the council from having normal dialogue and treating people with dignity and respect. If a person comes up and brings something up that's not on the agenda, the mayor, as the leader of that council and the proceedings, could certainly say, "Thank you, Mr. Jones, for coming up, bringing that to our attention. We'll look into that next week." And that would be enough to suffice a lot of people to say, "Hey, the guy hurt me." We don't even do that. We use the Brown Act to hit people over the head with and say, we can't address it, we can't talk about it. Okay? There's plenty you can do within the Brown Act to address some of the issues that come before the council.
What is your position on televising the open portion of study sessions?
Well, if people would watch it, that'd be great. So I think that if the Channel 3 is willing to spend the resources, we certainly at the city have the resources. We have the equipment, we could do it ourselves. But putting that on Channel 3, I don't think that'd be a large expense and a burden at all. So I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. It's boring in there though, I'm telling you. But there is some good stuff that comes out.
How should offered donations from different segments of the city, perhaps on occasion from outside the city, how should they be directed?
You know, I had the benefit, and I assumed this was an open meeting, so I came in at the tail end of Rick Claw's meeting last week, and he had an excellent answer. Okay, there should be a listing of all of the organizations that are within the city, nonprofit organizations, and that money should go into a pool and be distributed in some manner. That maybe the key group of with representatives from each organization would be in a kind of a coordinated council for nonprofits. We used to have Brea Foundation for Youth Sports. They used to do that kind of thing. So I think that's a great idea that Rick had last week to do something like that. Share it more equally.
I think you pretty much hit on this, because the follow-up second part of that question would be, who should be able to direct such donations so that donations are spread to many worthy causes, such as the Scout Center, rather than the usual city programs? Anything more you want to add to that?
No, but again, because I had the benefit, I'll give the credit to Rick.
city parking unveiled at a recent council meeting was first reported to cost $6,000, later $10,000, and subsequently we found staff time was not included. What is your position on staff reports and press releases?
Okay, mixing up things. All right, so here we have IT budget at 1.2 million, and you're going to tell me and teach me about 5.7 million on the IT budget. So I don't know what they're counting and the original cost of how it's escalated. So I guess we got to look into that. But repeat the tail end of that question.
Okay.
Because I was going down one track and the tail end threw me off. Go ahead, please.
We're talking about the recent city apps were unveiled at a recent council meeting. Was first reported to cost $6,000, later $10,000, and subsequently we found staff time was not included. Okay, what is your position on staff reports and press releases?
Well, they certainly should be accurate. So, I could understand that there's increased costs. The estimate went up, but again, you have to have all the costs involved up front. So I think maybe we should do a better job up front before we present that to the city council. I think that the benefit of that project would have been easier for the council to decide, this is a waste of time, doing that app. So you could drive by there and see that there's 600 spaces. We have these big, huge signs that say 625 spaces. Every time I drive by on Bray Boulevard or going through the Birch Street, I know how many spaces there are. I don't even have it. And I'm not going to go, if I'm over in Irvine, I'm not going to go, oh, there's a space over there. So I think it was a waste of time.
Okay, that really essentially concludes our formal questions. We will follow this up with questions from the audience, but I'd just like to ask if you have any final words, and since you didn't get an opening statement, we're going to give you a little extra time to expound on perhaps anything that you didn't feel you properly addressed, or you'd like to add to, or take away, or however you see it.
All right. Well, thank you. Well, thank you first of all for stout question. Anyway, I'm Steve Vargas. I'm running for city council, and I sure would appreciate your support. I got off the council in 2002. I got off the council in 2002. And I've been off essentially for 8 years. And I didn't just go away, but to the benefit of the people, I've given the current council, the makeup of the city, ample time to do their thing, and I think it's time to come back. I've been focusing on my family. As a matter of fact, I joined the reserves. I served in Iraq. I was deployed for over a year, so I continue to serve. My reasoning for running is I just got to serve. I got to do something. I've always been that way. I've always been a volunteer. I've always been out there doing more. My wife says I'm crazy. I don't say no. I don't know how to say no. But I just got to be doing something, and community service is where I'm at. When I was off the council, I got more involved in national government because of, they needed builders. I'm a general contractor by trade, and they needed builders in Iraq, so I went back now, and I want to get back on the council and continue my legacy of service. I believe that I have the leadership we need at this time and the voice we deserve. So I appreciate your support.